Today, we are tackling a big one. Mel Gibson's absolutely unforgettable epic, Apocalypto.
Now, if you've seen this movie, you know it's just wow. It's a brutal, completely immersive experience that literally drops you right into the world of the ancient Maya. But it also leaves you with this one huge question, right? How much of that is real history, and how much is just pure Hollywood fantasy? All right, so to figure that out, let's start with what the film actually gets right. Because for all the debate around it, there are some seriously stunning, authentic details in there that make its world feel so real. Okay, so the most impressive thing, hands down, has to be the language. The entire film is performed in Yucatec Maya. And look, this isn't some made-up movie language like Dothraki or something, no. This is a real, living Mayan language that people still speak today. Just that choice alone creates a kind of immersion that you almost never see in movies.
And that commitment to detail, it goes way beyond the language. We're talking about the whole world building. You see, the filmmakers didn't just make stuff up. For the costumes, the jewelry, the city itself, they were looking at actual Mayan art and architecture. Even the story itself has roots in reality, touching on genuine historical pressures like, intense warfare between groups and the devastating droughts that we know the Maya really did face.
Well, all right, but, and this is a big but, this is also where the film takes its biggest creative leaps. For all those authentic details we just talked about, Apocalypto is basically a giant historical mashup. It just kind of blends different cultures and even whole eras of history together to make the story more dramatic.
I mean, the film's entire premise, the whole journey, the escape, that famous final scene, it's all built on a massive historical screw-up. It literally smashes together two major events that, in the real world, were separated by hundreds and hundreds of years.
So here's the core issue, right? The movie shows us the collapse of the great classic Maya cities, which happened around the 9th century, and it shows this happening at the exact same time as the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors. The problem? The Spanish didn't show up until the 16th century. We're talking about a 600-year gap that the movie just squishes into a single story. That's a pretty big deal.
And this whole blending thing doesn't stop with a timeline. It goes right into the film's most graphic, most memorable scenes. Now, did the Maya practice human sacrifice? Yes, they did. But the massive, public, heart-ripping out rituals we see on that pyramid, that's way more characteristic of a totally different civilization, the Aztecs. So the film basically borrows the most brutal practices from one culture and pins them on another.
And what all this does is create a very specific picture of Mayan society, doesn't it? The city is shown as this place of just pure corruption and over-the-top brutality, which is contrasted with the noble savage life in the jungle. It's a powerful choice for a movie, for sure, but it also completely ignores the incredible sophistication of Mayan culture. I mean, these were people who made incredible advances in astronomy, mathematics, in art.
So you gotta ask, right? Why make all these massive changes? Well, it turns out the director's goal was never to make a history lesson, not even close.
Yeah, the director, Mel Gibson, was actually super upfront about this whole thing. He basically said, look, don't take this as a documentary. He explained that the film is really an attempt to tell a mythic story, kind of a universal fable about how any civilization can just self-destruct. The historical inaccuracies, they were totally intentional, all there to serve that bigger universal theme.
And that, my friends, is basically the textbook definition of historical fiction. See, Apocalypto uses a real historical setting, the world of the Maya, as a kind of stage. But the story happening on that stage is a completely fictional narrative. It was never trying to be a history lesson, it was always meant to be a pulse-pounding action-adventure flick.
So where do we land on Apocalypto? What's the final verdict? Well, maybe the best way to think about it is that it's not really a window into the past. It's more like a mirror, reflecting this timeless story about societal collapse. And really how you see it all depends on the lens you're looking through.
And you can really see that split right here. On one side, you've got this really strong historical foundation, the real language, the inspired art, the themes of drought and warfare. But on the other side, it's pure Hollywood drama. We're talking the mashed-up timeline, the Aztec-style sacrifices, and that super simplified, brutal take on a really complex society. The film uses an authentic foundation to tell a powerfully fictional story. It's that simple.
So, at the end of the day, Apocalypto is this incredibly powerful and provocative piece of filmmaking. As a mythic adventure, it absolutely works. But its relationship with history? Well, that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. Not just for this movie, but for any film like it.
Where, exactly, is the line between using history for a great story and just distorting it? And maybe more importantly, who gets to draw that line?